Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Commercial Photography Podcast. And we've got lots of new listeners at the moment. So, welcome to all our new listeners. It's lovely to have you with us. And today I am joined by Jamie McCanch from Refine IQ and an internationally renowned motivational speaker, adventurer, and all sorts more. Hello, Jamie.
Hi,
Welcome to
how
the
are you,
show.
Sam? And it's so lovely to see you again. It feels like it's been way too long since me and you actually got together for a good old chat.
It has. It was definitely a good while ago. I was in Wales making
Yeah,
videos with you.
yeah, for my podcast. And here we are.
That was it.
Thank you so much for having me, mate, as a guest. It's great to talk about stuff that I'm really passionate about.
Excellent. So the reason I asked Jamie to join us on the show is because he is a CRM expert, and although some people might think that's just kind of boring background stuff, this can make a massive difference to your business. So I think we'll start from the real basics, Jamie. What is a CRM?
Brilliant. So CRM stands for Customer Relations Management System. Or client relation management system. It depends how you want to word it. And basically, what it does is it supports you as an organization to continually manage the relationship that you have with your clients or prospective clients. It supports you with task management. It supports you with opportunities, leads, pipelines. And it can be as complex or as simplistic as you want. And effectively, a lot of people use things like databases or Excel spreadsheets, which effectively is exactly the same thing. The reason why people would specifically use a CRM system is because of its automative capabilities, but also its compliancy with data protection.
Excellent. Sounds good. And for me, I find it's just really simple to remind things. So an Excel spreadsheet's great, but if someone says, "Oh, well, I'm not ready for that, come back in 6 months," there's no way I'm going to remember that. Well, if I pop that in my CRM, I know in 6 months I'm going to get told
And
to
you
email
can
them
also
back.
get a reminder in 6 months. So it's absolutely that. So you can put a task, need to speak to this person in 6 months' time, and it will create a task for you with a reminder. It'll email you then to connect with that person in 6 months. And do you know what? Like, we're all busy people, and running a business is a busy industry, especially if you are a solopreneur. And I think the photography industry, which is obviously what the subject of this podcast is about, is particularly busy. There's so many people think that photography is just about taking a photograph, but it's not. It's about the editing, it's about the compiling, it's about meeting the client's expectations and needs. And you can't physically remember everything all of the time, no matter how good your memory is. And what a CRM system can do is it can put all of that information, including email chains, note taking, everything. It can put it all into one place. So instead of you then trailing through reams of emails or trailing through reams of notes, however your system is, you can just click on that person, find everything to do with them, find any associated businesses if that's part of the process, and you now have a instant connection. And to best off, certainly with the CRM system that I have become a partner of, which is HubSpot, there's also another product called AI Breeze. So you can literally ask AI Breeze to give you a full summary of that client, and it will just literally log in, find all the information, and then reel it back to you in audio, a full sort of summary of the client that you are currently looking to work with.
Stunning. And then, linked to that, the thing I find so useful as well is when the phone rings and somebody says, "Hi, it's John," and you're like, John. And you're like, CRM, bang, bang, bang. And suddenly, bang, you can see the last call you had with them. You can see what you've been talking about. You can see that 6 months ago, you offered them a photo shoot and then they turned it down and they're suddenly coming back to it. And there's no way certainly I caught maybe some people going, I can't remember that stuff. But as soon as you got the CRM, it's like, bang, you're there,
Absolutely. And the other thing that you can do, so HubSpot creates a customer ID, and I always think that that's really professionally looking feature. So you can then, if you have got 5 John Smiths, you can say, "Oh, John, no problem. What is your," and you can do some level of GDPR compliancy or some level of identification, or you could just go, "John, what's your customer reference number?" And bang, you've got the right person. It's nice and professional. There's no mixing up any clients. And I use the word John Smith because it's actually probably one of the most common names out there. So it is there's a possibility that could happen.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, a lot of photographers are using CRMs and finding them really useful. So, with CRMs in general, what are those things that a lot of people don't know is there, but actually are really useful and kind of could really make a
I think
difference?
task management and connectivity is probably the one thing that people don't think about when they think of a CRM. So, for example, you can list your tasks, and then you can tick those tasks off one by one. You can raise tickets within CRM as well. So I'm going to hone in now on HubSpot because obviously that's what I'm a partner of. There are other CRM systems out there that are specific for certain trades. I genuinely believe that if something is specific for a certain trade, then what's happened is it's niched. So that then almost bookmarks you into that particular industry or that particular CRM, where something like HubSpot is completely, you customizable,
It's more
customizable,
flexible.
flexible. I was there.
Yeah.
These are the type of words I was looking for. You can build things as you want. You can add the properties that you're going to need specifically for your business. So that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah. So if you get like a photography specific CRM, and there definitely are quite a few, what you're saying is probably if you start out, they seem amazing as they seem just set up for photographers. So they do exactly what you want. But as your business develops and you think maybe I want to do things a bit differently and I'm going to go down that slightly flexible route and I'm going to do things in a different way. If you've got HubSpot, it takes a bit of setting up at the start, but you can
Yeah,
then do that and do things how you want. But if you're with like a specific photography one, you're kind of locked into the way they think a photographer should have
absolutely.
their
And
system.
then the other thing with HubSpot is you can segmentate your client lists. So you can put them in. So, for example, this is a commercial shoot. This is a wedding shoot. This is a personal branding shoot.
Right.
This is a storytelling shoot. This is a product shoot. You can segment them out. And the reason why I think that is probably one of the best features of all of it is you can communicate with each person individually. So if, for example, if you are working with a building company, you can put them in a trade segment, and if you're talking to a lawyer, you can put them in a business services segment. Now, why is that important? Because you will communicate differently with a builder than you will with a lawyer. And I think that
Yeah.
fundamental level of language shift is what puts any business owner ahead of their competition. If you know how to talk to a builder and a lawyer who are realms apart, right? They are completely different
Yeah.
genres of people. They're different types of people, right? And they communicate in different ways. The one does not like jargon. The one likes everything laid out nice and simple so that they can understand what they're talking about. And the other one, the more jargon, the better. They love everything to have acronyms.
Yeah.
And if you try and communicate with a builder the same way as a lawyer, the builder will switch off to you. But if you try and communicate with the lawyer the same way as you communicate with the builder, the lawyer will switch off to you. So it's about speaking to the right audience at the right time in the right language. And CRMs allow you to do that, where again, a spreadsheet doesn't. You can also put in documentation. So you can upload a document onto a product like HubSpot. And this is a real key one. So that can be used as data capture. So if you've got a loss leader or a skill sheet or something, a top 10, one of the, we've all got these loss leader documents,
Oh,
free
the free
downloads.
download, your
You
free
can you
download
can embed
documents.
them into
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
HubSpot system, and then when your prospect clicks on it, you're then storing that person into your CRM system. But this is where it gets really better: is
Okay.
you can then identify how long that person spent to the second on each page of that document. And where
Right.
that comes in useful is if you've got a multi-document or a multi-brochure. And again, we're going to try and hone this on to photography. So, you've got commercial photography,
Yeah.
personal branding, product branding. If they spend 30 seconds on the product branding and only 2 seconds on the other two, you know that they are potentially more interested in the product branding, which means you can then communicate with them predominantly around product branding. So it gives you, it's all about information, and knowledge is key. And if you've got a single source of knowledge, then it becomes an oracle. And you and Marcus, your co-host on this show, is a prime example. Something like HubSpot, you can communicate with each other on the other side of the world. Everything you put in is instantly updated so that there's no copies. And this is where a lot of businesses go wrong. When there's more than one person involved, all of a sudden spreadsheets get duplicated, duplications get missed, and missed information. What missed information causes is lack of client or customer trust. And it doesn't matter whether you're a photographer, a motivational speaker, or a business consultant. If you lose trust, you lose the client.
Yeah. So you're talking about talking to those different things. So we talk a lot on the show about email marketing. It's a great way to go for photographers. So a lot of CRMs, they have the email marketing built in, so you don't then need MailChimp or MailerLite or whatever.
And HubSpot is no different. I like to take a little bit of a different approach when I'm talking to people about marketing. I always like the terminology. There's two types of marketing. There's atom bomb marketing, and then there's sniper marketing. And MailerLite has its place. It's called Brevo now. It's been bought out, but it has its place. And it's great for atom bomb marketing, where basically you're throwing out a load of information and hoping that someone will connect to it. Sniper marketing is when you've identified a potential client and then you're honing in on that client. HubSpot is really good for that level of marketing. So you can do the atom bomb stuff if you wanted to, but then once you get them into that funnel, you can really hone in your approach, your contact, your communication with that person in order to then get them over the line. Photography is also all about personal image. So, for example, one photographer is very different to another. So it's all about style. And what you want to be trying to do when you're communicating with people is have a flexible way of communicating your style, because that is your USP. So it's, again, very, very good at that. You can communicate within your style. You can show documentation of your, of how you work and operate with the client. The other thing as well is so much is going online now, and it's a really good way of capturing information and putting the client in control. So one of the things that HubSpot can do is you can create online forms. You can send that online form. Contact page is a prime example of that, but you can actually have onboarding forms embed into your HubSpot CRM system. Send that to the client. When you set that up, you can actually trigger it so that it remembers the client information. So if they come back to it, they can go through and keep coming back, and it'll automatically populate the information within the form.
Oh, so they can kind of tweak it as
but it's really good where you can even get them to upload files. So, for example, if they've got a document they want to show you, or brand guidelines, prime example, you can ask them for the brand guidelines. That document is then stored automatically inside their HubSpot profile. So you're not then researching and then having to save and then hoping that you've saved it, or then trying to find it because you've put it somewhere. And so it's a really good system for that. The other thing that HubSpot is also really good for, and again, around brand and certainly around photography specifically, when you send a client a folder with a URL number, a URL on it, for them to view photos, which a lot of photographers do now, you can actually store that URL inside the HubSpot system. And then when you click it, it opens it up straight away, which means at any point, if the client then asks, even in 6 months' time, I've lost that link, you can just go, no problem, I'll send it over to you now. And you can just click, gone. And that makes life so much easier.
Yeah, so it sounds a lot of keeping keeping tidy and keeping organized and saving time. So obviously CRMs come at a cost. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. My vague understanding of HubSpot and cost is there's a free version, and you can do a lot with the free version. And then there's like a starter version, which is kind of affordable for small businesses. Correct me if I'm wrong, kind of
Yeah,
20
yeah.
quid-ish a month. And then suddenly there's a jump to like the enterprise, which is like 800 quid a month, which for, most photography business and stuff is just out of the question. Am I right there? And can you kind of talk
Absolutely
us through
spot
the
on.
levels
So
a little
you've
bit?
got your free version, which, and funny enough, actually, I ran a networking business. As you know, we met through that, and
Yeah.
I stored all that information within the network, and I had the free version of HubSpot for the whole time of having that
Yeah,
business
that's what
because
I'm
it's
running.
all I needed, right? Then there's the starter pack,
Yeah.
which is, you're absolutely right, between 15 and £20 a month, depending on the currency at the time, right? But you're looking at 15 quid a month is a fairly average sort of fee. And then you go right up to the pro and enterprise version, which is like £1,500 a month. There's very few businesses that are solopreneurs or service providers that go up to that level, where £15 a month, you will be surprised what you can do for £15 a month. Like you've got 1,000 marketing contacts. You can also buy extra marketing contacts as well. So you can,
So just to clarify, so like, for example, my CRM, it just, every email that is sent to me
yeah,
gets plugged in there. So there's thousands and thousands of people in there. But when you say marketing contacts, is that effectively
yeah,
like your mailing list? So it's not everybody who you talk to, it's those people you
yeah,
log in and
because
see.
not
But
everybody
marketing,
within your CRM system is a marketing contact. Uh,
that's it. Your mum emails you at work, don't they? Your
yeah,
accountant does. You're not
exactly.
going to
Your
send her
accountant is
marketing
a really
emails.
good example of that. And again, you can segment that out. So you can then start marketing. And the thing is, when you market to people, so many people think that if you throw enough at the wall, something will stick. And actually, that doesn't work so well now. You need to be, people want to be sold to. They don't want to be sold at. And people want to feel the
Yeah.
experience. People want to know that actually they're valued as a client, not just another number, just not a tick box exercise. And so that is, again, you can segment it out, but you're absolutely right. So the marketing contact is people that are actually in your marketing funnel. So for example, your newsletter or your, updates,
Yeah.
something like that, that you would call as a marketing contact. GDPR compliancy now has honed in so tightly that you can't do that. I own 52,000 contacts. I'm going to send them everything because you'll
Yeah.
get battered from compliancy. B, you'll very shortly get blacklisted. C, you'll get to the point where you can't even email your mother because your email has got that many blocks and
Yeah.
hard bounces on it. So you don't want to do that. That's the truth.
Yeah. So I distracted you from what the original question was, which was what are you getting for the kind
Oh
of that
yeah, sorry.
15
So
quid a month, which was the 1,000. Sorry,
£15 a
my
month
fault.
gives you almost everything, except for your social, like media kind of plugins. You don't get that. You
Okay.
can have two pipelines. So you can have two, which, to be honest with you, two pipelines again for most businesses are relatively effective. You can have
Yeah.
multiple properties. You can have 1,500 active segments. Now, an active segment is
Okay.
if you create a rule, it will add it into that segment. So, for example, the property says, is this client in London? Yes. Then it will go
Yeah.
into a segment of London clients, for example, right? You can have
Okay.
1,500 of
Yeah.
those, but you can have unlimited static lists. Now, a static list is you select a group of people and you add them to that list. The active list, they can come on and come off. So if they move from London to Warwick and you change the address,
Okay.
it will
Yeah.
come off the London list or go onto the Warwick list. So you can then, that's an active list. So it actively moves. Static is you're on the list and that's the end of that. You can either put people on it or you can take people off it. But you can get unlimited static lists, unlimited properties, two pipelines, unlimited tasks. You can have unlimited view only users. So, for example, if I was on your system as a partner and I needed to view certain files or certain tasks, I could view them but can't edit anything. So that's a really useful
Okay.
tool. So
Yeah.
there's loads. I mean, it's a very in depth product. You can list unlimited amounts of documents and files and all of that sort of stuff, connections, etc., etc. So it's very broad and it's very multifaceted, which is what I love about it. You can make it very complicated and you can make it very simple. I like to go for the let's make it very simple process. So let's look at what it is you're trying to achieve and let's make it as basic as possible to that. Because I think if something is simple, easy to use, it gets used. If it's complicated and
Yeah.
overly process driven, you'll stop using it.
Yeah. Okay. And then how easy does it integrate with stuff? So obviously we're talking about your email wants to go in and out. Maybe you want to link to your accounting system because once you've got a client, you want to invoice them. There's things like LinkedIn and WhatsApp, and there's also now kind of AI. People are on Claude. They're trying to integrate their systems together and get places like Claude to do stuff for them, and that would be helpful if it could include the CRM. How easy is that kind of linking up a
Super
system
easy.
with the
You
other?
just go over to the user dashboard. You then click on integrations, and then you can just add. So, for example, I use another automation platform which it links in automatically. I use WordPress, which my website's built on. So, my contact form is actually a HubSpot form that's embedded into the site, and it's literally you just go onto your WordPress, click HubSpot plugin, which is already built in, and then when you go add form, it'll give you an option of what form it is you want to put onto that page. So create landing pages.
You don't even have to do that. So I've done it the other way, where I've got a pre-built form in WordPress. I put the HubSpot plugin, and it just automatically picks up every time
Yeah,
someone fills in a form. If you
yeah.
built it first,
It's
really,
just
really
so
simple.
easy to do, and it is literally just plug and play. And HubSpot, because HubSpot is the HubSpot and Salesforce are the two biggest CRM systems globally, right? So they are
Yeah,
constantly in that combatant process of the top ranking space. And because of that, it's like HubSpot is now like Facebook, LinkedIn. You can connect your Instagram account to almost anything you want. You can connect your LinkedIn account to almost any,
yeah,
well, LinkedIn's not so much, but you can connect your Facebook account to almost anything you want. And HubSpot is no different. You can plug it in now to almost anything you want.
yeah,
And I've used it I use Zero as my CRM system, which again, Zero, QuickBooks, they're the two high flying competitors. You know,
yeah,
Zero plugs into almost anything and HubSpot does the same. So you can connect the two together. You can run your invoice in and it will take out information, create the invoice. So now all of a sudden you can invoice people on your phone, on the road, done, done, done. You do the job, bang, send the invoice. It's so much quicker.
yeah. Okay, perfect. Sounds amazing. And then it's the kind of inbuilt. You said there was AI within there, so you can connect external AI, but it does also have kind of help within there where you can kind of, ask it, oh, how do I do that, or can you set that up
AI
for me,
Breeze
that
is
sort of thing.
just it's the next best thing since the person who discovered sliced bread. It's absolutely phenomenal. So you can also client enrich. So say for example, Sam, you were in my CRM system, which by the way you are. Okay,
Yeah,
but if I wanted to then enrich your contact, I can ask AI Breeze to research you. So I could say, research Sam Hollis. This is the information I'm looking for. Find me this information. Find me that, and it
yeah.
will actually search the web on all public records. It would
Wow.
bring in your last year's profit margins if you're in Company's House. It'll extract that information. It'll put it in there. So
Yeah,
now all of a sudden you can then hone in. So for a photography company, you want to know that this person, is legitimate. You can research them and enrich their profile as well. So it's almost like a client research
yeah.
project, but it's called customer enrichment.
Yeah, and that research is so important. Just a complete sideline. I had somebody approached me a while ago, wanted some website work, and I said, yeah, something made me a little bit suspicious. So then I did it my personally, but it's worth knowing. I look on Company's House, and it's like they had a few listings that didn't quite add up. put it into AI to do that research, and it came back going, yeah, this guy's a band director. But actually, and it came, yeah, this guy is a band director. He's had 4 different bankrupt companies. He never pays anybody afterwards. And yeah, that AI research.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you want. You know, you want the red flags there to protect yourself. And a lot of CRM systems now, but certainly HubSpot Breeze, HubSpot AI Breeze. I've become a Breeze partner as well, so I had to go through accreditation to become accreditation of HubSpot, and AI Breeze embedment is one of the accreditations I had to take, and it absolutely blew my head off. Some of the courses for HubSpot accreditation are 12 hours long. I mean, they're not, they're not take a quick, tick test. They are in depth, and they don't just allow anybody to become a partner. You have to really work at it because the system is incredibly advanced stuff. And again, one of the biggest questions that I get is, yeah, but I'm only a solopreneur, so I don't really need a CRM system, do I? And I've even had a photographer say, yeah, but I'm just a photographer. I don't really need a CRM system. I'm like, well, first off, you're not just a photographer. You are a person that supplies a professional service. And if you supply a professional service, you need to have a professional background. And a CRM system, if done right with automation, is as valuable as employing a member of staff, because that person is doing all of the mundane tasks that need to be done but doesn't need to be done by a human being, which A, saves you money, B, then makes you money, and C, makes you look like the professional outfit that you are portraying to be. And we are all portraying to be a professional concern because that is what clients want to work with. So yes, a CRM is important. And people say to me, when should I have a CRM? And I actually say day one. When you start your business, make sure you've got a CRM in place, because then you start off as you mean to go on, because there's nothing worse than having to clean data when actually your CRM system can do that for you automatically through the segmentation process. So right at day one is my personal advice. And you could do it for free. HubSpot is free. So there's no cost to you. Just go down a deep dive when you've got plenty of time and figure it all out. Or you can partner up with someone like me and I can help you.
That's it. I mean, and the other way to start, the way I started, was really simple, because I thought, my God, it's going to be a faff. I've got to import all this data. And actually, I did one simple thing. I connected it to my email. And so every email that comes in goes into HubSpot. And so a couple of months later, most of my contacts are there. I did nothing. I didn't import a single person. And okay, the past conversations went in there, but actually, before long, everyone you talk to is in there. Most of your conversations is built. So even if you didn't start on day one, that's the simplest way to start, isn't it? Just plug your email in, and it
Absolutely, and it starts to build up your own portfolio of people. And bear in mind, these are people Sam, we've known each other now for, it's got to be close to a decade, right? It's got to be. And, in my CRM system, there will be a profile, there will be a longevity, and it's even we know each other, but actually there'll be conversations that we had 4 or 5 years ago, which would now actually stand out. And I'll go, oh, hang on, I spoke to Sam about that once. Let me go back, and I can see it there. I'm not trolling through reams of information because it's all sat right there under Sam Hollis. And I know what I'm looking for, and I know who I'm looking at from. So that's really important, even if you were looking just simply for referring someone as a referral partner. It's all valuable.
Perfect. Amazing. There is lots more we could talk about, including all Jamie's amazing adventures, but we are running out of time. Jamie, if people want to get in touch, find you, what's the best place?
To be honest with you, my name is Jamie McCansh, MCANSH. Honestly, just Google me. I'm 50 pages of Google. It's not done by accident. I've worked very, very hard to make sure that I've got a public profile. So please feel free, or email me, jamie@jamiemccansh.com. Follow me on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn. I generally reply fairly quickly on LinkedIn. I'm not a hard person to find. I've made it that way.
Except when I'm at
the top of a mountain, yes. And that is a whole different podcast, Sam. But yeah, definitely.
It is. Cool. Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Share all of this amazing information with our listeners. And listeners, I'll see you
Thank
next
you
week.
so much for having me. It's been a
Cheers,
pleasure.
Jamie.